Dr. Nanri, my first question would be, why this forum? If you could just enlighten us on the importance and the timing of this forum.
Okay. First of all, both for the Nippon Foundation and Sasakawa Health Foundations, we believe that the persons impacted by Hansen disease is one of the most important stakeholders. So as you know, in Manila, there is an International Leprosy Congress where all the key stakeholders in the leprosy communities will get together. And we believe that delivering their direct voices are very much important. So this global forum, also, we are a major donor. But for us, this is a venue, not for the foundation, but for the participant, those who are representing the people's organization from all over the world. They'll be the people to utilize these opportunities. They are the ones who discuss many things, whatever they want. So foundation is just providing a venue for them.
That's, I guess, is a very, very noble as well as a very important move on behalf of your foundation. And that naturally makes me to ask, we have been hearing, the whole world knows about it, but if you could still tell us one more time, in brief, how is Sasakawa Health Foundation, along with Nippon Foundation, supporting this global fight against leprosy, and especially to achieve total elimination of leprosy world over?
Our foundations work on the Hansen disease from two aspects, medical and social. For medical aspect, our foundation has been supporting WHO leprosy program for past 45 years. So through WHO, our support will reach to the government of endemic countries of Hansen disease. Furthermore, our chairman, Mr. Yohei Sasakawa, he has been WHO Good Ambassador for leprosy elimination since 2001. He has been visiting more than 100 countries to convince the political leaders to actively work on leprosy or Hansen disease. In terms of the social aspect, our foundation have successfully approached to the United Nations Human Rights Council. We have played a key roles that the resolutions on the elimination against persons affected by leprosy and their family members are adopted at the UN Human Rights Council for 5 times, 2008, 9, 10, 15, 17. Our foundation played a key role there, especially the 2010 resolution was also approved unanimously at the United Nations General Assembly.
I think that is a great glimpse to the massive scale of work that your foundations are doing. IPS itself has been reporting on several events right in this year that you have organized earlier. So I have been also reporting your work, and I have seen the kind of support that, at least a glimpse of it, the support that you have been providing to several countries, many of whom are they are falling into the least developed countries in a country category as well. And that makes me curious to know, when you support, when you are providing support at a global scale, are there some countries who you think get greater volume of support from you, and If yes, which are typically these countries?
In fact, the WHO has identified 23 countries as the endemic countries of Hansen disease. So our support will basically focus on those priority countries. But of course, our support will not limit only to those countries. We are open to support any innovative activities to make changes, because making changes is the mission of our foundations.
Thank you. When we talk about supporting the countries to fight Hansen's disease, we have often heard from experts as well that sustainability is often referred to be a big challenge. You have also in the past interviews talked about it, but standing here today on the eve of the Global Forum of People's Organizations, I would like to know, what is your view on sustainability?
You know, our foundations have been active to work with the people's organization from various countries, improving the livelihood of the persons impacted by disease, or empowerment of them, or fostering their participation into any leprosy services. So sustainability is always the important issue for our foundation. So in fact, upcoming global forum, the issues on sustainability is one of the major agendas. And at least we as a foundation believe that we can try to provide the opportunities for the people to get together, discuss, connect, and think together, so that they are able to come up with some clear idea as to what they can do. Because the situation of the organization is different. Each organization has its own situation. So at first, we are trying to provide the venues or platform for them to discuss. So the Global Forum is one of the examples. And recently, we are also trying to try something new. We are trying to foster so-called mutual cooperation among the people's organization. For instance, maybe the expenses of Chinese people's organization could be transferred to the people's organization in Indonesia. Maybe same thing could be done from Brazil to Colombia. So we are now trying to test whether or not such kind of mutual cooperation model is workable.
That is, I think, a kind of need of the hour to promote cross-country collaboration and regional collaboration as well. We began with the reason behind organization of such a global forum, but when we see for a person who is not necessarily very aware of the Hansen's disease or the importance of its elimination globally, it may seem just another conference. So for their benefits and the benefits of our general readers and viewers, I would like you to say a little bit about what really goes behind organizing a forum of this scale. What does it all take? What does it mean in terms of time and finance and work hours and manpower? If you could just give us a little glimpse into that.
First of all, I should thanks to my colleagues in my team, because this is going to be a very big conference. Already more than 60 persons affected or impacted by the disease from 23 countries have committed to come to the Global Forum. So it is going to be a very big conference. So our colleagues have to spend lots of time for the preparations, and they are still working, of course. So I really appreciate their great effort.
Yeah. How long have you been preparing to organize this?
At first, we have decided to organize small consultation meeting last September because our foundation is now trying to reform the program, especially to work with the persons impacted by the Hansen disease. So at first we organized a small consultation among a small number of people, and there the idea came up. Maybe in the occasion of International Leprosy Conference, the foundation is able to organize the big conference for the persons impacted by the disease. But like you said, just one-time firework is not important. So organizing conferences also does have some meaning, but before that, we need a good preparation. So we have decided to organize the regional conferences in January to March in this year. We had three regional assemblies in Africa, Asia Pacific, and Latin America. So agenda of Global Forum are based on the result of those three regional assemblies. So again, I want to stress that we are not the one who decided the agenda. The participants, they are the one who decide how they want to utilize opportunities, what they want to discuss there.
I think you are being very modest here, but I get your point that both the Sasakawa Health Foundation and Nippon Foundation are actually putting emphasis on strengthening the people's organizations. And I think that is also something that the world can greatly appreciate. Thank you. My next question would be, what kind of technical support do your foundations actually provide to the people's organizations?
In terms of training, as I said, we have been supporting the many people's organizations all over the world. So they have a freedom to propose what kind of activities they want to conduct to strengthen themselves. So one of the components will be the capacity building workshop, maybe management, or maybe fundraising. So at first, through our grant, we provide the capacity building activities. And at the same time, we are also trying to introduce some of the good resource persons for each people's organization. Again, issues on sustainability, most of the organizations are interested in strengthening their sustainability. So we try to find out the good resource persons who have professions about the social business, for instance, and try to connect the resource person with organizations. So not only providing financial contribution, but also we try to connect the people. So that is the way our foundation will work.
I think that's a fantastic and very realistic strategy to bring in sustainability. This as the backdrop, I would like to know what's your view on promoting social entrepreneurship among the people's organizations? Because if you want to move them from dependence on external finance flow, they need to strengthen themselves also financially. So what kind of role social entrepreneurship can play?
It is a very important point because you are right. The external support will not be sustainable. For instance, our foundations cannot support one organization forever. So sometimes they have to be independent. So social entrepreneurship is one of the method for the organization to secure their financial resources. But I think, the important thing is that there are many kinds of social business. There are many ways to develop social entrepreneurship. And each organization has its own strengths and weakness. So I think more important thing is that the leader of the people's organization should consider what kind of social entrepreneurship is feasible for his or her organization.
You talked about the regional assemblies that your foundations organized earlier this year. Could you tell us maybe one biggest message, one biggest takeaway that, or the biggest learning that emerged after these three assemblies?
If I say clearly, it's very simple, but it was very important opportunities for me because I was able to listen to the direct voices of our beneficiary. Because they are our important partners and we are there to work together with them. So we have to seriously consider how effective we could be. And in order to be effective, we need to understand their demands very properly. So 3 regional assemblies we organized early in this year was really good opportunities to know what our beneficiaries demand.
My next question, and this is one of the last two, my next question would be, where are we really now in eliminating leprosy world over?
It's a very good question. The boss, my big boss, Mr. Yohei Sasakawa said, we are in the last mile out of 100 miles. But still, the last mile is only halfway to go. So meaning that the last mile is most important and it takes some time. So in the case of the Hansen disease, it is a very complicated disease. So no one knows, no one has a clear answers how to solve all the problems. But we have to work on. And in order to do so, I think at least there are 2 important things. One is each player, including our foundation, should recognize our own strengths, because any organizations have both strengths and weakness. So we should recognize our strengths and should consider how to utilize our strengths more strategically. And second point is partnership. No one can work alone. So if we are able to formalize effective partnership with other players who have a different kind of strengths from us, I think we can be more effective. We can be more influential. So in that aspect, I really support the recent movement that the key stakeholders got together and decided to establish so-called global partnership for zero leprosy. That is very important network. All the key stakeholders participate into the network. So that is very important collective movement, I think.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Totally agree to that. My final question to you is, anybody who's watching this video, whether they're people affected by Hansen's disease or or partners of people's organizations, or policymakers, or people working in the development sector, or just general people, as we go into the people's organizations, or the Global Forum for People organizations, let me rephrase that question again. Anybody who's watching this video may or may not be aware of the status or condition of leprosy globally right now. What is your message today as we go into the global forum for peoples affected by leprosy? What is your core message today?
First of all, I want any people who are watching this video, I want them to know what has happened or what has been happening to those persons impacted by the disease. I want you to listen to them. Then want you to consider what we can do together. At least our foundations want to fight against any stigma and discriminations associated with this disease. But at the same time, we are not able to fight alone. We have our strengths, and those who are watching this video may have their own strengths. So we can work together. And we as a foundations are ready to work together with any people if we are able to share the common goals. And I would say, finally, the passion and commitment will be the most important to make our dream come true.
Thank you. If there is anything that I haven't asked or anything that you think is important to say, please feel free to add that.
I think you gave me enough time to speak.